Ever get that feeling? You know, like
Yeah.
you're staring at a blank page or maybe like a wall of text, and you're just like, oh, I wish this could just like come alive.
I know exactly what you mean.
Right. Like, what if you could take any idea you had, any piece of information, and just like, bam, turn it into something you could listen to and like interact with, something really engaging?
It's so true. That's what makes this whole idea of easily creating talking books
Yeah.
so fascinating. I mean, just imagine the potential for you, our listeners, who are always looking for ways to share information and really connect with people in new ways.
Absolutely. And that actually leads perfectly into what we've been digging into for this deep dive, this AI app called BookFlow AI.
Yeah, this one's making some pretty bold claims, wouldn't you say?
Oh, for sure. They're not holding back. They're calling it the world's first AI app that instantly creates stunning, interactive, and engaging talking books in like over 100 languages.
Over 100. I mean, that's a lot of languages. So we've been really looking into what they're saying it can do.
Yeah, I mean, the marketing sounds amazing, but we want to go beyond that. You know, like really understand what's going on under the hood with this BookFlow AI.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, what matters is whether this tool can actually deliver on its promises, especially for you, our listeners, who might be thinking about creating content yourselves. Maybe you want to share your expertise, teach something new, or just get your ideas out there in a fresh way.
Totally. So let's jump into it. One of the first things that caught my eye was this whole 3 easy clicks thing. Like 3 clicks and you go from an idea to a talking book in over 100 languages. I was like, seriously?
I had the same reaction. It almost sounds too good to be true.
Right. But then they start breaking it down and it's like, okay, maybe, like they talk about no API key costs. And for anyone who's ever messed around with AI tools, you know those API keys can be a pain.
Oh yeah, I've definitely hit a few roadblocks with those myself. Not to mention the extra charges that can sometimes come with them.
Exactly. So skipping that whole API key thing is a big win already. And then they say you don't need any writing skills, no design skills, not even a good microphone for voiceover.
That's actually a huge point. If you think about what traditionally goes into creating a book, or especially an audiobook, it can be a really intimidating process.
For sure. So the fact that they're trying to make it accessible to literally anyone, that's a big deal. Plus, they're pushing this special one-time offer, no monthly fees, which is always nice.
Definitely. But that does make you wonder what happens after that initial purchase. Do you get updates? What about support? That kind of thing. It's worth keeping in mind if you're thinking about using this long term.
Absolutely. Oh, and there's one more thing. They threw out this number. Make $278.97 daily.
Yeah, I saw that too. I mean, obviously, we should always be cautious with those kinds of claims.
Oh, yeah. A healthy dose of skepticism is always a good thing. But I guess it does show how they're trying to position this tool. You know, like it's not just for fun. It could actually be a way for people to make some money.
Right, like turn your knowledge or creativity into a potential income stream.
Okay, so let's get into the real meat of it here, the core of what BookFlow AI is all about. They talk a lot about this idea of transforming ideas instantly. And it's basically what we are talking about earlier. Like you put in a keyword and boom, it spits out a talking book. You don't have to write it, design it, or even record any voiceovers. It's all done for you.
It is a very compelling idea, especially when you think about how time-consuming the typical content creation process is. Writing, editing, finding images, formatting, it all takes so much time.
Ugh, yeah, and if you're not a tech person, it can feel even more overwhelming.
Exactly. So for a lot of people, that time commitment can be a major barrier to entry. So this whole instant transformation thing, it really speaks to that challenge. It could be a total game changer for busy people who want to get their ideas out there quickly.
Totally agree. All right, let's dive into some of the key features because this is where things start to get really interesting. First up, they've got lifelike AI voice narration.
Oh yeah, this is the part that really piqued my curiosity. Because we're not talking about those old school robotic AI voices here.
Thank goodness, right?
Right. They're promising human-like voices that can actually draw you in and make the listening experience enjoyable.
And it's not just one voice either. They have this personalized AI avatars feature where you can choose from different voices with different tones and even accents.
Imagine the possibilities there. You could create different characters for your stories or maybe set a specific mood just by choosing a certain voice. That could really elevate the storytelling aspect.
Definitely. And from a practical standpoint, this is a massive cost saver. Think about how expensive it would be to hire multiple voice actors for a traditional audiobook.
Absolutely. But there is that question of just how human-like these voices actually are. AI voice technology has come a long way, but there's still a range in terms of how natural and emotionally expressive they can be. So it would be great to hear some examples and see how they compare to real human voices.
Totally agree. Now, another cool feature is the auto illustration generator. This is where the AI really starts to show off its smarts.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Basically, the AI analyzes your content and then automatically finds high-quality images to go along with it. So you don't have to spend hours searching through stock photo websites.
it's like having a personal assistant for visuals.
Exactly. And think about how helpful this is for visual learners. If you're someone who absorbs information better when it's presented visually, this feature could make a huge difference.
For sure. Okay, ready for more. They've also got customizable book layouts with all these templates to make your book look polished and professional.
That's so helpful for those of us who aren't exactly design whizzes.
I know, right? I struggle with that stuff.
Me too. So having pre-designed templates that you can just plug your content into, it's a huge time saver.
Plus, they offer instant ebook publishing in all the major formats: PDF, EPUB, audio, the whole shebang.
That's a great point, and it's something that a lot of people might not think about if they're new to the whole publishing world. You need your book to be compatible with all these different devices and platforms.
Right, like PDF is great for documents, EPUB is perfect for e-readers, and then audio is obviously for listening on the go. So having all those formats covered from the get-go, that just makes things so much easier.
Absolutely. It streamlines the whole distribution process.
Yeah.
And speaking of distribution, they even talk about selling your talking books directly on platforms like Amazon, KDP, Apple Books, Etsy, eBay, all the big ones.
Yeah. And the best part, they say you keep 100% of the profits.
Now, that's a major selling point for anyone looking to actually make money from their creations,
Yeah.
especially if you compare it to traditional publishing models where you often have to split the revenue.
Exactly. Okay, now let's talk about the tech side of things, because this is where I was a little nervous, to be honest. I'm not the most tech-savvy person,
I hear you.
but they emphasize this no complicated setup thing. You don't need to mess with API keys or any coding.
That's a huge relief for a lot of people, myself included.
Right, and they have a drag and drop editor, so you can easily move things around, make changes, that kind of stuff. You can even personalize your talking books by adding your own photo or using an AI avatar as the narrator.
I love that personalization aspect. It
Yeah.
really allows you to put your own stamp on your creations.
Totally agree. Okay, get this. They offer support for over 100 languages, not just for translation, but for actually creating content from scratch in those languages.
That's incredible. Think about the potential for reaching a truly global audience.
Right. The possibilities are endless. And then, of course, they have the standard text-to-speech feature, which turns written text into audio, but they take it a step further with interactive elements.
Oh yeah, this is where it gets really fun.
Yeah, you can embed videos, GIFs, clickable links, even images directly into your talking books.
That's so cool. It really transforms the whole reading or I guess listening experience. It's no longer just passive.
Yeah.
You can actually interact with the content, which could be really powerful, especially for educational purposes.
I totally agree. Imagine learning about history and being able to click on a link to watch a video clip from that time period. It would make it so much more engaging.
Absolutely. Okay, so they've got all these amazing features, but what happens if you hit a creative wall? Like, what if you just don't have any good ideas? Well, they claim to have a solution for that too.
Oh, yeah, the smart AI story writing feature. This is where the AI really starts to feel like magic.
It kind of is. You can use it to generate stories and plot lines if you're feeling stuck. It's like having a brainstorming partner built right into the software.
And they offer a commercial license, so you can sell your creations and keep all the profits. Plus, they provide access to built-in royalty-free content, so you don't have to worry about copyright issues when you're using images, audio, or music in your books.
That's a huge peace of mind, especially for anyone who's ever dealt with the complexities of licensing creative content. And then to sweeten the deal even further, they offer a 30 days money-back guarantee.
Yeah, no risk involved. They also say it's all managed through a single dashboard, which makes things super simple. And remember, it's a low one-time fee with their special offer going on right now.
They're really pushing that special offer, which is understandable from a marketing perspective. They want to incentivize people to take action and try it out.
Makes sense. Okay, let's talk about how this whole process actually works. They call it a three-step process, which again emphasizes how simple they're trying to make this whole thing.
Exactly. The easier it is to use, the more likely people are to actually use it. So, step one, log in. Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, can't get much
Yeah.
simpler than that. Step 2, create. You just enter a keyword, and supposedly the AI generates a talking book in under 60 seconds.
60 seconds, that's mind-blowing.
I know, it's crazy fast. And then you can personalize it with your chosen voice and visuals. And finally, step 3, publish, sell, and profit.
They really hit home that profit part, don't they?
Oh, yeah. It's all about the potential to make money with this. So you download your book, share it, publish it on those different platforms we talked about, and keep all the earnings.
Click, create, and profit. It's a catchy slogan for sure.
It is. Okay, so they also include some testimonials on their website from people who've actually used BookFlow AI. And some of them are pretty impressive. Like this one guy, Akshat Gupta, he's listed as an affiliate and vendor. But he says it's a total game changer and that the AI voices are so good he doesn't even need to hire human narrators anymore.
That's a bold statement. It would be interesting to hear those AI voices for ourselves and see if they really live up to the hype.
I agree. And then there's this other guy, Ganesh Saha, also an affiliate and vendor, and he was amazed that he could create a fully narrated book in under a minute.
I mean, if it's true, that's pretty incredible.
Right. And then there's Arpit Singh, a graphics designer, and he loved that he could take a simple idea and turn it into a fully narrated and designed book without any hassle.
Those testimonials definitely highlight the core benefits that BookFlow AI is emphasizing: speed, ease of use, and the quality of the AI-generated content.
Exactly. But it's important to remember that these are just a few select stories. It's always a good idea to do your own research and look at a wider range of reviews before making any decisions.
Absolutely. Always good to get a balanced perspective.
Okay, so BookFlow AI is really trying to position itself as the solution to a lot of the common frustrations people have with book creation. They talk about things like expensive software, costly voice actors, the need for technical skills, and the sheer amount of time it takes to write, design, and edit a book.
And they're not wrong about those challenges. Traditional book creation can be a very time-consuming and expensive process.
For sure. And they also touch on the difficulties of translations, finding the right illustrations, and the headache of formatting everything and making sure the audio syncs up with the text. It's a lot to manage.
It is. So by addressing these pain points, BookFlow AI is trying to appeal to people who may have been hesitant to create books in the past because of these very challenges.
Yeah, like maybe you've got a great story idea or you want to share your knowledge with the world, but the thought of actually creating a book just feels overwhelming.
Exactly. And that's where a tool like this could potentially make a huge difference.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about the market, because they make a big deal about the market opportunity for talking books. They throw out some pretty big numbers about the global book publishing industry and how much the ebook market is growing.
It's definitely a booming industry. And they point out Amazon KDP's huge market share and the potential for self-published authors. Plus, they mention how popular audiobooks are becoming.
Right. Audiobooks are having a major moment right now, so they're painting this picture of a massive and expanding market with lots of opportunity for anyone who wants to create and sell talking books.
And from a data perspective, they're not wrong. The numbers definitely support their claims about the growth of the digital book market. It's definitely something to keep in mind if you're thinking about getting into this space.
Totally. And to further drive home this point, they include a section on success stories, featuring well-known authors like J.K. Rowling and Stephen King.
It's a classic marketing tactic, right?
Yeah.
Use big names and impressive sales figures to inspire people.
Yeah, it's like, look, these people made millions from their books. You could too.
Exactly. But it's important to remember that these are exceptional cases. Most authors don't achieve that level of success.
Definitely. But it's still inspiring to see what's possible in the world of publishing. Okay, ready for their boldest statement yet? They say that talking books are the future of storytelling.
Now, that's a big claim.
It is. And they back it up with a few reasons. They talk about how engaging audio and interactivity can be, how talking books can reach a global audience with all the language options, how they're perfect for busy people who don't have a lot of time to sit down and read, and how powerful they can be in education.
I actually think they have a valid point there. The way we consume content is changing. People are busier than ever, they're constantly on the go, and they're looking for ways to multitask. So audio content that you can listen to while you're doing other things, that makes a lot of sense.
Totally. Plus, there's the whole accessibility aspect. Talking books can open up the world of storytelling to people who might have difficulty reading for whatever reason.
Absolutely. So I think it's safe to say that talking books are definitely going to play a big role in the future of storytelling. Whether they completely replace traditional books, that's a different question.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all evolves. They really emphasize this point by contrasting traditional methods of creating talking books, highlighting how time-consuming, difficult, and expensive it can be. Recording studios, voice actors, editing, it all adds up.
For sure. And that contrast really underscores the value proposition of BookFlow AI. They're offering a solution that could potentially make the whole process much easier and more affordable.
Right. And just to hammer it home, they give us a big, long recap of benefits. I mean, we've already talked about most of these, but it's basically everything they claim BookFlow AI can do. AI-powered creation, drag-and-drop editor, tons of language options, text-to-speech, auto-illustration, interactive elements, lifelike AI voices, templates, instant publishing, social sharing, website embedding, customizable covers, royalty-free content, multi-voice narration, voice customization, selling on multiple platforms, commercial license, one-time payment, and a money-back guarantee.
Wow, that's quite a list.
It is right. They're really pulling out all the stops.
Yeah. It's clear that they've put a lot of thought into making this a comprehensive solution.
Mm.
From ideation to creation to publishing and marketing, they're trying to cover all the bases.
Totally. And they wrap things up by mentioning their target audience, which is basically anyone who might be interested in creating and sharing content. Authors, educators, marketers, entrepreneurs, you name it.
It seems like they're casting a wide net, which makes sense. With a tool this versatile, there's potential for it to be used in all sorts of different ways.
Absolutely. And then, of course, they end with a big push for their limited time offer. Emphasizing that one-time price and how it won't last forever, trying to create that sense of urgency.
It's a classic marketing tactic, create a sense of scarcity and encourage people to act fast before they miss out.
Exactly. Oh, and I almost forgot, they also threw in some bonuses to sweeten the deal, like guides on book writing and making money on Kindle.
Those bonuses are a nice touch. It adds to the perceived value of the overall package.
And they remind you about that commercial license one last time, just in case you forgot. And they reassure you about the money-back guarantee, so you know there's no risk involved.
It's all about reducing that barrier to entry and making people feel comfortable trying it out.
Totally. So they really end with a bang, giving you one final recap of value, listing all the features and their supposed worth. Like they want to make sure you walk away thinking, wow, that's a lot of stuff for the
They
price.
want you to feel like you're getting a great deal.
Exactly. So that was our deep dive into BookFlow AI. It's presented as this all-in-one AI-powered tool that lets you create talking books quickly and easily, potentially opening up a whole new world of content creation for you.
I think it's safe to say that BookFlow AI is a fascinating example of how AI is changing the landscape of content creation. It's definitely a tool worth exploring if you're interested in creating and sharing talking books.
Absolutely. And it leads to a really interesting question. Could AI-powered tools like this fundamentally change who gets to create and share books? Could it make book creation accessible to a much wider range of people? And what would that mean for the future of storytelling?
It's a great question to ponder. It'll be interesting to see how these tools evolve and what impact they have on the world of publishing.
Totally agree. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Be sure to check out my other videos.